What's up, guys? I'm a Savage Kev.
I'm Shane. I almost missed that. I was waiting on Paul. We're down a skeleton crew today.
We can fill in. I'm Paul.
Yeah. Brilliant. Paul. It's Paul.
This is not beer. This is grog juice.
We're on grog now.
Our mateys. We've been sailing the seas.
We sailed the seas a lot last night.
All last night. We got access to the Sea of Thieves beta.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more excited.
I was really excited to play it, yeah. Like, when you told me you guys had it, I didn't even know it was coming out. I don't think a lot of people did.
No.
And whenever you messaged me about it, I was like, fuck, I gotta get that right now.
Yeah. We've been hearing about Sea of Thieves for a long, long time now. My emotions have been up and down with it. I didn't know what to think. I loved it at the beginning, but then when I read more about it and how it worked, I was a bit off. I was a bit off by it. But actually getting hands-on on it last night, what we played and what the beta has to offer, I loved it. I loved it.
I had fun for like a couple hours. I thought it was fun. I lost it really fast.
Yeah.
And part of it might be because it was the beta.
Yeah.
And they don't give full content. But personally, I need to see more changes. I need to see a lot more going on for me to be interested in actually playing it. Like, I wouldn't spend $60 based off of what I played.
I wouldn't either. Don't let that discourage you, though. I mean,
right.
What we had access to was a very bare-boned beta.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could sail. We can go to different islands. Like the entire map was available.
We got a couple ship battles with other ships.
Yep, got a couple ship battles.
We did 2 of those.
But the main objective for the beta was to go find buried treasure, dig it up, and then bring it back to the merchant for some loot.
Right.
And to me, it seems like the only thing you could buy with that loot is straight cosmetics.
It looked that way to me as well. Yeah, and that's kind of one of the issues that I was seeing, and I don't know if that's something they're going to change. Like, I wouldn't mind getting better weapons, like upgraded weapons. And it's like, if it's just skins, I feel like it kind of takes away from, like, what's the point of going collecting all of this treasure to buy skins? Like, I want to buy better shit.
Right.
Right.
My biggest thing with what you said was a buddy of mine had enough gold to buy a new sword, so he bought a new sword, and it looked great on the menu or whatever, but when it was time to actually whip it out, he still had the old sword.
I think he didn't swap it, because there's a chest you have to go to swap items out. Because I bought a new tankard because I drank too much.
What do you mean, you drank that grog juice?
I got real drunk on grog a few times and threw up all over the ship. That was one of the funniest parts for us. Like, we were watching each other throw up drunk all over the ship. We did that a lot. That was really cool.
Who threw up in my face? And then I had puke
Paul threw up in the bucket. He pulled the bucket out and he threw up in the bucket. And then he threw it in your face.
But on my screen, I just had, like, that green puke color. Like, I couldn't see anything but puke. That was great.
Which I'm really curious about to see, because you can shoot yourselves out of cannons in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see if you can, like, have a puke bucket, shoot yourself onto another ship, and then throw puke in someone's face, and then just, like, headshot them or something. You know what I mean? Like, pull out the shotgun and just shotgun blast them after you throw... I mean, it's an option on how to play. It doesn't seem like a bad strategy. We did have a lot of fun shooting each other out of cannons and watching each other get shot out of cannons.
Yeah.
That was super cool.
Somebody mentioned that you could get into a cannon. And we tried for a while, and we couldn't figure it out just because we're dumb. And if you go right in front of the cannon, you press the Y button, you get in.
Yeah.
So once we figured that out, it was like 15, 20 minutes. We just kept shooting.
Yeah.
And
we're like, you stay in the water and then watch me shoot.
Well, I'm shoot Shane after Shane. Stay there and watch me come to you.
I really did enjoy the time that we spent playing. Like, those first couple hours of just figuring everything out, I really had a blast, and it felt super cool. You have to do everything on your own. They don't really explain a lot. Like, you just kind of get in.
Which I like.
You work the ship like you work a regular ship. You have a guy working the sails. You have a guy in the bird's eye or the bird's nest or whatever it is. Kind of looking out. You have like a guy looking at the map.
Yeah.
Kind of navigating.
Yeah.
It's super cool. You load your cannons before you take off. It's there's a lot of that. And I think all of that's really cool.
I think so. I liked what I played, and if anybody out there that's watching this is like me, I want to know details, and the beta did give me enough details for me to be a bit more excited about it, okay? Let's just give you a little run through. Like, your ship can get damaged, which I thought was really cool.
We spent a lot of time repairing the ship.
But we played with 4 people, so you have a group of 4. Like, 2 of the dudes were strictly bucketing the water out of the ship, going above deck and throwing it out, while the other 2 were patching it up with wood.
Right.
That's a super cool experience.
Yeah, see, I liked all of that. Like, I thought all of that was really cool, like the realism of it all, and getting into the battles was really fun, man. Yeah. Scrambling for cannonballs, and then you get hit, you got to go repair the ship real quick.
Yep.
And still have a guy up there like shooting cannonballs back. I thought all of that was cool.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is like, how much more are they going to have to offer? Like, I'd like to see something almost where, you go into islands, like, you fighting these skeleton guys. I don't know if that's actually going to be in the game or if that's just something they threw into the beta. I'm not sure.
I would hope.
But, I think it would be cool, say, if you came across, like, a ghost pirate ship. And you just got out and it was just AI. And it's just something to do. Like, a little bit of action so it's not just staying on the sea. Like, anything like that.
Right.
I'd like to see more of that kind of stuff, to where you can get in a little more action, because you don't want to be fighting other players every time you leave an island either.
Right.
But I feel like just sailing's not going to be enough, and you get bored really quick. So
yeah.
For me, it's just about how much more we get, like how much more content we get, and then also, like I said, I want to see upgrades. Like if I'm going through and just looking for treasure, I want something realistic that I can buy for. Like, I don't care what color my gun is. I care about, like, how many shots does it take to kill someone?
The model of the gun, or, some upgrades on the gun or something.
Right.
I mean, looking and feeling the way the ship handles and everything, I mean, some of those islands are pretty far away, and it took us a good 10 minutes of sail time.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them not having an option to upgrade maybe your sails, or something to travel a bit faster.
I saw there was a shipwright, but every time I went to her, she just said she didn't have the material.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's going to be in the actual game. Right. But it's like, is that a cosmetics thing, or are they going to give you new stuff to improve the ship?
True. I mean, again, like we've said before, I mean, this is a bare bone beta. I'm just excited that I got hands on, and again, I was excited for it, but at playing it, I'm super, super excited about it.
See,
because I know some of the mechanics.
I don't have high hopes for it anymore.
Like, you don't have what?
I don't really have high hopes for it after that. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'd really like it to turn into a game that I can enjoy playing, because we had a good time, man.
Yeah,
just some of the jokes, and we had a great time with all of that. And I like playing anything with a team. That's always really fun for me.
Yeah.
But as far as what I saw, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like, based off of that, if you guys weren't excited about it, I'd probably never look back at it. Like, based off of what I played on the beta.
Okay.
Unless someone was like, dude, they added this, this.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely wouldn't, based off of what I played, I wouldn't purchase it.
Okay. I like that. I mean, it's honest. First off, it's honest, which...
Yeah.
You got to be honest with
and
this kind of
the
stuff.
reason is, and I've said this numerous times on shows, man, I know how I am with those types of games, when it comes to like a Friday the 13th type of game. Like I always said, I knew I would burn out on it quick. And I feel like Sea of Thieves, the way that it was that we played, if they don't add a lot more, then I don't know. I feel like I'd be burnt out on it in a week or two, and it just wouldn't be worth me spending the money.
Right. I get it. I get what you're saying, and it brings me back to the game Evolve, because Evolve on paper was a beautifully concepted and just, 4 against a monster. Like, you can't go wrong with that.
Right.
But it was absolute dog shit, and I hope that this doesn't take that trend. With Evolve, like, it's a great concept on paper, man. You just got to execute it right.
Right, and I think the gameplay is really fun. Like, I enjoyed all of that. I think, it was a little laggy at times, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But I feel like the gameplay is going to be a lot of fun. I'm just worried about content.
Yeah, me too.
That's my main concern.
Me too.
There's a lot of content, and it doesn't even have to be like the shit that I'm mentioning that I'd like to see. I just would like to see more, and I'd like to see something to where I'm not just running around digging treasure up and then buying skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Because for me, like, it's not enough of a reward to continue playing a game that can be really slow at times if all I'm doing is getting new skins for my boat.
Right.
Or, like, getting a new tanker to drink out of, getting a new spyglass that just, and all of it looks different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what about a sniper rifle with, like, a better scope on it?
Right.
I mean, do they have that, or is it just a different skin? It's like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm concerned with. And if I'm just buying cosmetics, I don't feel like the grind's worth it.
It's very grindy. Mm-hmm. Very, very grindy. I mean, the one mission where, you know, you would go to an island, you know, maybe a few clicks north, grab the chest and bring it back. I mean, that's a 30-minute mission.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, sailing takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and then really and then if you see a ship and you're like, let's go get them, which we did a lot of.
And if you're playing with Paul wants to go and get that grog juice. That's why I had to put him in the brig. That's why he's not here today. By the way,
he's in the brig.
He's
right now.
still in the brig in the ship. A good point I want to point out is when we first got our ship destroyed, I'm thinking, okay, WTF? What do I do? You know, we got 4 dudes just swimming around and, you know, in the waves or whatever. When your ship gets destroyed, or your pirate buddies leave you on an island and take the ship, there's a merman that pops up in the water that you go directly to the merman and he transports you to the ship.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool because convenience is key nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially on something like that, dude. If I fell overboard and I told him not to wait because that ship flies.
Yeah,
I mean, if you fall overboard, you're not getting back on the ship.
I found it difficult. I tried to jump off and get on, like, an enemy ship, and I found it really hard to catch that ladder.
Yeah, it is. It goes so quick.
I think it's just kind of like a quick cue, and if you don't hit it, you don't hit it. And you have to kind of jump out ahead or, get shot out ahead. But somehow a couple guys got on our ship.
I think because we slowed down tremendously. I think Brian might have dropped anchor to turn.
I know on one we dropped anchor.
Yeah, to turn, and I think they just happened to be right there by the ladder. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about is the anchor drop. Like, I've been on boats. I was a big fisherman. Like, I love the water. I love boats. And when you drop that anchor down and you still have some motion, that bitch swings. It swings the boat around. I'm like, man, that's so realistic. That's so freaking cool, man.
I thought a lot of that was really cool, man. Yeah. Like when you're up top in the bird's nest and you're looking with the
little spyglass.
Yeah, with the spyglass. It's like, or with a sniper rifle. It's like, you know, it's really hard to keep it steady, you know, with the waves and everything. I thought they did that really well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, on the plus side, just to talk about, like, there were positive points for me, but I kind of like the idea of maybe, you know, running across, man, and you see a ship, you know, docked at an island. They're probably out there hunting treasure. It's like you might be able to just roll on, steal that shit right out of the ship, jump back on. You know what I mean? You get out of there before they find you, and they come back to put this next chest down. Like, what happened to the other chest? You just go in, or, you know, take them by surprise, man. Sneak up on the island.
Yeah.
To where they can't see you. Like, let them dig the treasure up themselves, and then dude grabs the chest. Shoot him, shoot his buddies. You know, like, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do strategically. I think it's going to open up a lot of that.
Yeah.
But once again, I still feel like even with that, there's only going to be so much you can do, and I still think it could burn out fast. But there are things that I'm excited to do because I do intend on playing it with you guys when it comes out.
Yeah. I do agree with you on the fear of lack of content, you know. Because, like you said, if it is strictly just getting quest from the hermit, I think his name was, some dude on an island or whatever, he gives you a scroll, you get a map where the treasure chest is, then you have to go on the big map and find the island, go to the map, dig up the treasure, and bring it back. If that's it with random, you know, ship battles and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, it's going to get burnt out in a week.
And that's kind of how I feel, yeah. So that's what I'm curious about. Is it going to just be out looking for gold, or are there going to be other types of missions?
I hope.
That's what I'm curious about.
I hope.
And I hope so, too. I mean, I really, like, I don't have high hopes for it, but I really hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think it could be a fun game. I think it'd be really fun to stream.
Yeah.
Like, we all have a really good time. Yeah. The jokes are flying the entire time. You can
mean,
do so much silly stuff. So
I had to tell myself to stop talking like a pirate this morning, you know? It's like, oh, give me some grog juice. And well, we kept saying, keep true. Keep true means go straight.
Yeah, you're like, stay true.
But, dude, I'm telling you, like, you know, you get into that pirate mode or whatever, and, like, you can adjust the sails and everything. It's like, oh, matey, get that sail or whatever. It's like, it's a super, super fun experience with 4 of your buddies, okay? I can see where if you were solo or if you had 2, and you got ganged up, by a team of 4, I could see where it would get a bit pissy.
Yeah, and I don't think we'd have a problem finding 4 guys.
No.
It sounds like a lot of people we know are going to buy it. And then, for people that are on Xbox and have Game Pass, they're supposed to be putting it out on Game Pass for free. So if it's something that you just want to try out, man, you can pay like $10 for that month.
Right.
And then you can have it for a month.
Right.
So
the good thing about this Game Pass thing, especially for the end of this month, okay, if you do it yearly, you don't have a problem. If you do it monthly, make sure you get it kind of in the middle of March, because you got Sea of Thieves coming out the second to last weekend, and then the last weekend is Crackdown 3.
Crackdown, yeah.
So if you pay $10,
and also Far Cry 5 is coming out. I mean, it's coming out on all systems, but it's still another game in March,
right?
Where it's like, I guess it's not on Game Pass though, but still.
I was going to ask, is that a Microsoft?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's only Microsoft.
I don't know why
games.
I jumped on. I don't know. You started naming games, and I'm really excited about Far Cry, so it kind of popped up. But yeah, either way, it's another game to look out for, and we'll be playing that as well.
My experience with the beta, I guess if I'd have to grade it, because everybody likes grades, right? I would probably give it 6.5, 7 out of 10. Just for straight up the comedy factor.
I mean, for a beta, I give it a 7. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a lot of fun. The fun just wore off quick for me. But when I was enjoying it, I was really, really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then part of it too, man, I got a little tired. It could have been part of that. I don't know. But I definitely felt like we were just doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And I kind of started burning a bit.
And I'm okay on the repetition of stuff. I'm a huge open world guy, and that's all open world stuff is. It's just repetition.
Mm-hmm.
But this did, after like 6 or 7 treasure chests, I'm like, damn, I just want to do something else.
Right. It's like you just want to do something other than go and search for a chest.
Right. And it was called, what, the scale test?
Yeah.
Beta or something like that? We have no idea what that means.
Right.
And again, I think this was a small piece that we got to play.
Right.
I'm hoping.
And maybe that's why it was a closed beta.
Yeah. I'm hoping and I'm praying, like Shane says, there's more content, there's different missions, there's other enemies besides skeletons. And I also want to throw this in, and I don't want it to be about, okay, let's go get this treasure chest or let's go to this mission, but we have to fight 3 or 4 different ships just to get there. Mm-hmm. That will get old to me.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking about too, because it's, you most certainly want to see ships.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, sometimes you just want to go, at some point, you're just going to want to go deal with, like, digging up a few treasure chests and not worry about, like, some like, big battle on the sea. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious about how they're going to do that as well. I guess you just have multiple lobbies with people in it.
I would hope. I would hope. And I know you can play solo, but you are thrown into that open world where everybody is kind of on the same server. Because I did play solo last night. You get a smaller ship when you play solo.
And everyone's
I did
solo.
I did see teams
ships.
of 4, so you're kind of thrown in kind of with the lions, just kind of in the wild. It's going to be a game where you need buddies to play with.
Yeah. I think so.
Bottom line.
Yeah. And most of those games are.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing I find, even with something like Paladins, man, it's like, I don't really have any interest in playing Paladins without a team anymore.
Right.
As long as people are down, I'm down.
Yeah.
I think it's a great game.
Me too.
Playing alone, I'm just kind of burnt out on that side of it.
I'll play alone strictly to grind, get
But
levels.
I do that a lot of times. I did that with Vermintide. It's like I played alone a bit, getting used to it, and then at some point it's just, if people are down to play, I'm down.
Yeah.
If not, if I don't have a team, I'm not interested.
I do want to say this before we go on to the next subject, though. When we played last night and we got to see our first ship, we were fucking excited.
We were pretty excited, yeah. We're like, holy shit, there's a ship.
I'm sitting there driving, and I think Brian or you said, dude, there's a ship in the distance, dude. I went into straight captain mode. I'm like, all right, arm those fucking cannons. That side needs armament. Oh, dude, it was so intense. And I think we actually won that one.
Yeah, no. Remember, we got to the ship and it was sinking when we got.
That's right.
By the time we got in range to shoot at it, it was already like sinking, almost completely sunk. And I was like, God damn it!
See what had happened?
He must have hit a rock or something.
What had happened was Paul was really drunk on the grog. He jumped down, he swam over, he fucking gutted the ship. Yeah, he came, but he wasn't gonna have a lot of fun. That's why we put him in the brig.
Yeah, he didn't listen to his captain. He was supposed to be arming cannons. He went rogue.
Unfortunately, I think by the time you do see this, the beta will be closed. But it is coming at the end of March, and like we said, if you have Game Pass, it's a Microsoft game. It is free with Game Pass. And again, it's going to be a big month in Game Pass. You got Sea of Thieves, and then the next week is Crackdown 3. Yeah. So if you do it monthly. Like I said, buy it in the middle of the month. You have a whole month to play Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3, 2 big AAA titles.
Right, and if I'm not mistaken, or at least when I first started, I'm not sure now, but my Game Pass didn't renew. And I had to, like, repurchase it. So I don't know if it's a thing that's reoccurring on your credit card. They might have moved it into that. But I know at one point I thought that's what it was going to be. And then it asked me to turn my information in. So, but it's worth checking out. It's $10. Definitely. You can always cancel it. But definitely a game worth checking out. And, you know, you can go to our comments on the YouTube page, like under the podcast. And, you know, give us your gamer tags if you're looking for people to play with. Yep. Somebody's probably going to be on, you know, once it's on release. Absolutely. At least one of us. So, you know, we can set you up with a team.
And think about it as a financial aspect too. I mean, you're paying, if you do it a year, you're paying $120 a year. Boom, you got Sea of Thieves and Crackdown, which is $120. It pays for itself in 1 month. Mm-hmm. And then you got the entire year to play free games.
I don't think they had that option.
No? I thought you could do it yearly.
Maybe so. I'd have to look into it. Because I feel like I would have done that if that was the option, but I didn't.
I want to say it was 120.
Okay, I'll look into that. That's kind of weird, though. If you're gonna pay about a year, they could at least give you some kind of discount, like $100, you know, for the year or something.
Well, they do that.
I mean, dude, for live, I mean, live's only $65.
Yeah.
You know,
and still, I mean, with live, I mean, Xbox is where it's at, man. I mean, you're still getting 2 free games a month with Xbox Live just to be an Xbox Live member. And then you're going to have Game Pass, which I think they have like over 500 games. Mm. And any new Microsoft games that are coming out are there. You know, it's like Blockbuster.
It's definitely a solid selling point. And I'll play PlayStation as well, but I mostly play Xbox.
Well, PlayStation got the PlayStation Plus, which is very, very similar to the Xbox
Live.
Yeah,
my problem with that was it's total streaming. Whereas, you know, the Game Pass allows you to download it onto your system, and then you know, I guess when you pay the money, it gives you the licenses to all of the games to play. Whereas the PlayStation, when you're always streaming, and I've had a lot of instances where it kicked me out of stream, so I canceled it. It was, you know, it just didn't work well enough. I don't know if it was my internet service, which I don't seem to have problems with outside of doing that.
Right.
So that was kind of my issue with it. But I was kind of thinking about something fun, man. I was looking at all of these games, and I guess with the Metal Gear Survive thing coming out, it kind of made me think of it. I found that there's a lot of games that, personally, I thought were good games, but they didn't really work in the series, and people got kind of really pissed off about it. So, like, Metal Gear Survive, it's not a Metal Gear game. Like, the title's there, but it doesn't work as a Metal Gear game. And I think it's probably going to be a perfectly fine game. It'll probably be a lot of fun.
I like the way it looks.
You know, for people that enjoy those types of games. But it's like the reason I feel like it's just coming out the gate with a black eye because Metal Gear's in the title. And I mean, Metal Gear's probably the worst one because everybody's really pissed about like Capcom and Kojima and that whole situation. But there are a lot of games. I find there are a lot of games that did that. We recently played Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
And that was a game that people hated. And I think that game, as a standalone game, I think people would have really enjoyed it. I think people were just pissed because it had a Resident Evil title and it wasn't like any other Resident Evil game.
Right. Which I love Resident Evil 6.
I do too. I thought Resident Evil 6 was a fun game.
You know? I am guilty of this kind of genre of gamer with certain titles like Saints Row. I didn't like Saints Row 4 on some real petty shit. You know? But anybody, especially fanboys, that likes ongoing series like Metal Gear will get really butthurt about Metal Gear Survive. You know, the Halo 6, or, you know, not Halo 6, but let's just say they mess with Halo 6, and they get so far away from the Halo fucking foundation.
Like if they came out as like a third-person shooter or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, they would explode.
Right.
They would explode. Sure. You know? To me, it's all a progress. It's all progressive.
But I feel like there were a bunch of games that did that. Like the Castlevania, the Lords of Shadows games. Like, I thought those were good games. I just didn't think they were good Castlevania games. But if they would have had a different title,
yep.
You'd have just changed the Belmont name,
yep.
even the same story.
Yep.
I felt like it would have worked perfectly as a standalone title. 100%. But having a Castlevania name, people hated it a lot because they just deviated too much.
It almost seems like you have this powerhouse of a name or a series like Metal Gear, Castlevania, Uncharted, powerhouse games, and you mess with them, you know, and if, like you said, if they were a different title, they would like, okay, the last Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Everybody hated it because of the way he looked.
Yeah, well, because wait, look, they rewrote the character. I mean, he was a little more like brash and obnoxious, and
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that game would have came out and it wouldn't have had a Devil May Cry title, I think it'd have been a great game. Like, I really enjoyed that game, but it wasn't a good Devil May Cry game.
I liked it. I've always liked the Devil May Cry. I've always liked that just over the top action, straight stupid combo, air combos.
I love those as well.
Yeah, I think they're great. You know, I think game companies are going a bit too far away from mindless fun.
I do too. I still enjoy those types of games. I think that's why I'm playing so many indie games now. There's just a lot of those that are just mindless fun, dude. Mm-hmm. It's like sometimes I don't want to go forage for berries, and I don't want to fucking, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to like craft ammo, and I don't want to have to like find a rock and then find a fucking stick and then make arrows. And like, yeah, sometimes you just don't want to deal with that.
No,
it's like I just want a game
100%.
where I just go forward, fuck shit up, and have fun, man. Like a cool, like stress-free type of play.
Yeah.
And I know you can't do those games the same as you did, like the kind of God of War format where it's just you beat some shit up, you do a puzzle, you beat some shit up, do a puzzle, throw a boss in, you know. But I think there's still a lot that they can do, man. Like Dark Souls kind of rolled in. It's a different type of game, but it's pretty simple at its core. I mean, it's a tough game to play. The enemies are tough, but as far as the combat system, it's pretty simple at its core, man. I mean, you know, you have a block, a couple attacks,
a light, heavy
attack,
jump,
roll.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty pretty basic.
Yep. I mean, look how
and it's
good
just
Dark
the
Souls
way
game.
you use it.
We're on 3 now,
mm-hmm.
and it's one of those games where like if you've beaten it, you're just automatically become king. You know, there's so many speed runs about it, and
I think people get burnt out on the combo system that all of those games implemented, to where it was just a lot of button mashing combo style fighting, as far as like God of War, and we said that DMC game. I mean, pretty much all of the Devil May Cry games were combo based. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you could still make that type of linear game and have more of a Dark Souls style, like a more realistic style of combat with it.
Yeah.
And I think I still think it could be fun. You know, you do less enemies.
Right.
But instead of doing a Dark Souls thing where, you know, you lose your souls, you go back, you just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I think it's something that you can do. I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying that the option's there.
Right.
But obviously, you know, people are getting away from that.
Yeah.
But I think a more realistic style of combat could come back in a big way.
Yeah, I think it needs to. I
just don't feel like everything needs to be open world.
No, we've talked about that a lot, and unfortunately, man, that's the trend.
Well, yeah, because it's about keeping you playing. That's how they're making money.
I'm telling you, dude, there's so many game companies that, they make money off the initial release, but they make the bulk of their money keeping you online playing that shit. You know?
Yeah.
Think about Uncharted. They've been a solid fucking game from start to finish. From 1 to... You think?
I don't like the last one that they did.
Really?
The one with Chloe and what's it, Nadine? I didn't like it. Nope. You know why? Because they started out and you had a map and you had to drive to a bunch of places and then go through the shit. They started out in this weird little open world type situation. I'm like, dude, that's not Uncharted to me. Like, Uncharted's not an open world game. I'm not interested in it. I don't want to play it for that reason.
I agree.
You know, I'm sure that people that enjoyed it, I have friends that enjoyed it. But for me, like, that's not why I play that series. They changed it. I'm just not interested. I'm not going to shit on it. I'm not going to say it's a bad game. But that's what turned me off. Like, immediately I was turned off and I wasn't interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. It's just people come in, they make changes, and the thing is, I don't want to be the guy who's like shitting on people for trying to improve something that they've done. You know what I mean? I look at it, as far as music, I look at it the same way. Like every now and then, a band that I really like just stops putting out, like Opeth, for example. I love that band, and the last like maybe 3 records, dude, I didn't enjoy, and they're never gonna go back to the stuff that I enjoyed. Right. But it's like I'm not gonna shit on them as a band either, dude. Like they've still given me plenty enough that that made me happy. So it's like it's the same thing with games. It's like if you're moving in a different direction, I respect it, but I probably won't follow you there.
But I think some of these established games don't need to go in a different direction.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not necessarily that direction,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you got to keep things fresh, and you got to keep changing things up. I mean, there's only so much. Like, there's only so many times you can release the same game.
Yeah, but I mean, you do have. I mean, well, look at Call of Duty.
I mean, like God of War. Like, say this new God of War is coming out. Like, if they made that like an old God of War game, it'd just be dated.
I think it would kill.
No, I think it'd be dated. Now, I'm not saying it should be as open or anything as it's doing, but yeah, definitely new mechanics and introduce like a new combat system and all the stuff that they're doing. I feel like it needs all of that.
I agree with the gaming mechanics. So gaming mechanics needs to be updated. I mean, if you go back and play a PlayStation 2 game, it could be your most favorite PlayStation 2 game of all, but you're on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 for years, man. You go back to that PlayStation 2 controller with the clunkiness, it's like it's almost impossible to play. But some of these games, besides enhancing the mechanics, I think they're fine just the way they are, one after another after another.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it's a problem. You know what I mean? But I just feel like anything that you're doing creatively, putting out games as a creative venture, I just feel like you constantly need forward progress. Yeah, I just don't believe in like being stagnant. And like I said, whether I enjoy what they do or not, I still think everything needs to move forward.
I like that.
That's always been like a beef of mine. I think that's one of those things, like when we did Pickle Show, we kind of got into it about the PlayStation 2 deal.
Best system.
But the argument was, he said it was the best system, and I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't trade it for the new one.
Fuck no.
You know what I mean? And it's like, in that argument, I wasn't trying to like shit on PlayStation 2. I've always enjoyed that system, but like my thing is, it's like I'm just so tired of people being stuck in the past on everything, man. It's like just as a society, I feel like we just need to continuously move forward. And not get stuck in the mud. Not like I don't have a problem with video game nostalgia. It's a real thing, and I still enjoy putting on a Mario game from time to time. Yeah. I mean, it's the same way I still enjoy putting on a Black Sabbath record. It's like I might do it once a year, but I enjoy it when I do. But it's like I'm looking to continue moving on, always.
Right. My biggest thing with and I'm all about the progress of games. I mean, we've been gaming for years, and I mean we've seen some tremendous shit.
Yeah.
In the gaming industry in our life. I'm the type of dude that, not necessarily Uncharted, but I'm going to use Uncharted as an example. Like, people love Nathan. Like, they love that dude. And they will be fine. And I'm okay with some of, like, Halo and some of the, like, the real fanboy games I like. Like, I would rather, enhance game mechanics, but a new story, maybe a new area, but just over and over again. Because you fall in love with the character. You fall in love with the jokes. Like Nathan's a funny dude, he's witty or whatever, and like Master Chief, man, like Master Chief's just an iconic fucking character, and just to control him, and a regular ass Halo mission is great, but they overload it, and I think some game companies overload it a bit too much,
Yeah, well, in Far Cry, I mean, what's the name of that game? Uncharted? Jesus Christ, dude.
You've been sailing the seas too long. He's got salt brain. I don't know if that's a pirate term, but I just made it up.
It is now. It's our own pirate term. We're invaders. But no, in Uncharted's defense, and it's been a while. Like, I haven't played that game since like the week it came out. Like, I just burned through it immediately. But I think at the end, he basically retires from the entire thing with, like, his wife and his family. And that's why they didn't continue on with another game. And probably, in today's climate, man, I think making a game with 2 strong female characters is probably something that they were trying to push out there. Because it's I mean, let's be real, man. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen, but I mean, it's marketable. I mean,
absolutely.
In today's climate, I mean, look at these movies they're doing Ghostbusters with all women.
Female,
and, you know, it's something that they're pushing and it sells. It's a good marketing strategy.
I love you, bitches.
Chloe was awesome, dude. I always liked Chloe in the games. She was a rad character.
I just think they were just solid games from start to finish, you know. And I guess with all the bullshit that we've played over the years, it's like, man, you kind of, you know, take it for granted. Just that you know you're getting an Uncharted game when you buy an Uncharted game, just like Far Cry, you know. And I think they're pretty successful titles, and they've been doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's okay for some people to do it. I just don't think everybody should like have their niche and then they're just like, this is where.
No, I know. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Look, I'm talking about the games and the companies that do it right. Because there's so many games. It's like, man, you're on 4. You should have stopped. You should have even made the first one. I'm talking about the really good developers.
But I will give you that. Far Cry, man. I mean, Far Cry's been putting out the same game forever. I mean, they really have. I mean, you get a couple new things.
We still buy them and we still play the shit out of them.
Right, but I mean, dude, they're really the same thing. Like the hunting missions, pretty much everything's exactly the same, dude. The map's almost identical.
One of them, you get a hawk, you know, you get to now you get a dog in this new one, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think you had a lizard in one and a giraffe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one you're driving like Jeeps and fucking, you know, and ATVs and stuff, and then one you're riding a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah. But I mean, it's like, but it is pretty much the same game over and over, and so are the Uncharted games. I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, you're climbing a lot of shit, figuring out some puzzles while you're climbing, and you shoot a lot of people.
Yeah.
The enemies are pretty much the same. Like, there's always the shotgun guy with the helmet, and you got to shoot the helmet off first, then headshot him after. Like, there's always, you know, they basically do the same game over and over, but the stories are great. Those games have tremendous stories.
Right.
And that can't carry it.
Right.
So it does have place for that.
You know, I'm talking about the Uncharted, you know, staying the same and everything. Those were amazing stories. You know, Last of Us. I would love a new Last of Us every so many, you know, years with the same game mechanics, updated game mechanics, of course, but that same story, kind of linear. Like, it was a great story. It was a great gameplay.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
It was convenient. You know, it wasn't. I've never been in like a battle. I'm like, man, I just want to die and start over. You know, it was super convenient. You know. The biggest kind of thing I'm thinking of before we end it is the Castlevania thing. I've been a huge Castlevania fan since day one, and yes, they've tried to go up and they've tried to go down, and I'm not a super Castlevania fan anymore because of the last two. I thought the last two were god awful.
Well, I don't think you should even really put those into the Castlevania category.
And like you said earlier, if
they
didn't have the
really
Castlevania
were their
name,
own games that they just tacked Castlevania onto.
But that's the kind. I mean, and I don't consider myself like a hardcore fanboy, but there are those fanboys out there that just their dicks fly off.
And see, I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one. I enjoyed playing the first one. I couldn't get into the second one.
I heard though, because I didn't finish them. I played them both, but I didn't finish them. But I heard the ending of the first one was tremendous.
Yeah.
I heard you found out all kind of like details about the Belmonts and Dracula himself, and it's like, man, I wanted to get to that point. I just couldn't. Because to me, they ruined it. The camera angle was awful.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
But see, I was really into those types of games when it came out. You know, I was playing the God of War games, like, you know, we talked about before, Dante's Inferno, and I feel like when it came out for what it was, it fit right in.
I like
but
that.
It just didn't work as a Castlevania game. Like
I agree.
But as a standalone, like if they would have done the exact same game, changed the dude's last name to something other than Belmont, and then, you know, released it under a different title, it would have been a fine game.
I would have. I don't think I would have enjoyed it more, but I would have kind of left the fact alone that it was a Castlevania game, and then they ruined it kind of for me. If it wasn't linked to the Castlevania, it's like, okay, it's just
right. It'd have nothing to ruin.
It's just not for me, you know. So.
And I think some people felt that way about BioShock Infinite, which I still think was a tremendous game. I thought it was a great BioShock game.
Me too.
It just, you know, it wasn't in Rapture, but a lot of people had an issue with it not being in Rapture.
Yep.
But then it's like, you know, after the first two games, what do you do with that story other than doing, like, the creation of Rapture?
But you see, I think when BioShock ended after Infinite, I thought it ended at a perfect spot.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't push it too far. They didn't leave anything out. I thought it was an absolute perfect trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And I thought the gameplay worked really well for being a BioShock game, and that's important as well.
Yes.
Because I felt like it stayed true to the gameplay, even though they added the rail system and it was bright.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, man, it was an amazing city.
Oh yeah, I mean, just BioShock, it made me fall in love with my environment, and that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, they really did a great job with that.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, I would pack up if Rapture was real. I'd pack up and go live in Rapture. I know I would die in like the first week.
What was the one in Infinite called? We're not gonna remember it.
I just say the Sky City.
I don't remember why. It's been a long time since I played it, but to go from creating Rapture to creating that, it's tremendous, man. I mean, it's just two fantastic worlds.
Right, and I mean, I enjoy Rapture better, than the Sky City. But I mean, you're gonna create an environment like Rapture,
what was it called?
but then double back and then do the Sky City, and me being in love with Rapture and me really digging the Sky City. They knocked it out the park.
Mm-hmm.
They knocked Ben Levine. You are a genius.
Yeah, I thought it was a
and
fantastic
that beard
game.
is tremendous. Keep growing that beard, man.
Oh man. So,
before we get out of here, you want to add anything?
Not really, man. What are you gaming on?
Oh, I like that.
You always ask.
The reversal. Did I talk about beating BioShock 2 last show? I
don't believe so.
Well, I just beat BioShock 2. Well,
for its first time.
For my first time. I played it. I got like halfway through it when it came out, and something else came out. I didn't finish it. Shame on me. But, son of a bitch, BioShock 2. I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
It's definitely mine, but yeah.
I know. I think BioShock 1, just because I was so... that introduction to Rapture, it was beautiful. I fell in love. So BioShock 1 just has that feel for me. BioShock 2 was a better game.
Yeah, sure.
A better game.
Well, the gameplay was the gameplay was a lot better.
But son of a bitch, man.
I mean, just dual wielding.
Oh yeah.
Went so far.
Paladins, always on Paladins.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves. We just talked about it. I don't know if that's going to be available tonight to play.
I don't believe it is. My brother and I tried to jump on earlier, and we couldn't get on. But I don't know if it was just something, on their end.
Right.
Because it didn't say that the beta ended.
It was apparently a 24-hour beta. So, I don't know if it's still available or not.
Yeah. It might have been one of those things, because I remember saying yesterday while we were playing that I thought it ended at 10 o'clock at night. It might have ended at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
That might have been what it was. It might have been like 10 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So.
That makes sense. It's still up on my dashboard.
But we will post what we played to YouTube, and you can check that out because it was pretty funny, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't a whole lot of activity, but there's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of talking. It was.
You randomly pull out an accordion or some kind of other instrument, and we just sat around and playing music, while somebody drove the ship.
Yeah.
Shooting each other out of cannons and puking on people, and it was great.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Besides that, man, what else you been gaming on?
Oh man, I've been playing a lot. Paladins always. Sea of Thieves, everyone knows about that. I did play Bleed 1 and Bleed 2. I finally finished both of those. Love those games.
Those are indie
man.
titles, right?
Yeah, those games are fantastic, man. I recommend anyone to pick them up.
Yeah.
Just super simple, they're quick games.
They look fun.
I think I picked both of them up for like $18 for both games.
Can't beat that.
Really, really cool, really fun. Just they're tough, but they're I don't know, man. They're just really enjoyable, dude. I enjoyed the shit out of them. Paul was bragging on them, and I wasn't really sure what to think, and then I played it, and I was blown away. Just the fun factors there.
And Paul can't brag too much about being in the grog. Not the grog. What's he in now?
He's in the brig.
The brig. He's in the
brig.
He can't have the grog juice, but he's in the brig.
Man, what else? I've been playing Faye a lot, man. I'm really enjoying that game.
Yeah, that looks super good.
It's another one it's pretty relaxed. I mean, it's a puzzle based game, but it's super fun.
Side scroller?
It's really really beautiful. No, it's like a top down. Open world type situation. Super fun. Like it looks so good, and then you basically find animals and you're communicating with them, and certain animals like help you get through certain situations. So you have to figure out, which ones to talk to, and it's big, man. It's I don't know. I'm loving it.
It looks cool.
It's so pretty. You know?
Looks cool. It reminds me of just the artwork on the cover. It reminds me of like an Ori. Like an Ori game.
You kind of sneak around. I mean, there's a little bit of stealth involved as well, but it's for me, it's just a stress-free game, and I like having those every now and then. Because I'm a really big action guy.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to. Yeah. Sometimes the
sometimes
combos and then the triple jumping and all that. It gets old, man. Like I said, mindless fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And other than that, man, I don't know. I feel like I've been playing other stuff, but I can't really remember. I've been trying a lot of things out and just feeling like, nah, I don't feel that. I'm not feeling that. So I'll just stick with those. But I think I'm gonna stream Faye at some point.
Now did you stream Bleed?
No, Paul did though. He streamed both of them, so both of those are up there. And then I never posted it to YouTube, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because Paul already had them. But I streamed some hard mode play one day.
Nice, okay.
And it's on Twitch. I mean, you can watch it there.
Nice. You have Twitch at a Savage Gaming Experiment. Also, everything that we do from Twitch on the SGE and our personal Twitches will go to YouTube at a Savage Gaming Experiment. Also, check us out on Facebook at a Savage Gaming Experiment. And if you're excited about Sea of Thieves like I am, maybe Shane would be, hit us up with your gamer tag and let's plunder some seas, matey.
Or anything else like Paladins. Any of these types of games, man. We're always looking for people to play.
We got like 3 or 4 usual guys we play with Paladins, so we always need that one extra.
Mm-hmm.
Message us, put it on. Anyway, get us your gamer tag and let's start gaming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bottom line. Until next week, Savage Gaming Experiment. See y'all later.